Hello Lincoln County R3 families, and welcome to another virtual parent night. Tonight we're going to focus specifically on Canvas, which is the learning management system used in our 612 classrooms and also some of our elementary classrooms as well. We're going to focus on some of the basics like setting up your Observer account, also how to navigate assignments and grades, and this will help you feel more comfortable navigating the system with your child. Now we will be monitoring the chat, so if you have any questions, please feel free to drop those there. And with all that said, I want to introduce you to Jennifer Orton and Tim Gilmore, who are the instructional technology facilitators in our secondary buildings.
Thank you, Dr. Bertels. Tonight, our goal is to help you as a parent better be able to navigate Canvas and our courses within Canvas to support your student through their classwork and the assignments that they may have within that Canvas platform. And so the first tool that we're going to give you, and before you can use any of our other tools that we're going to show you tonight, is a Parent Observer account. And so what that does is it's an account for you as a parent to log into through Canvas, and it allows you to see everything that your student sees. So you see their assignments, you see the grades and teacher feedback, and you can even communicate with your child's teachers through this platform. But the first thing you have to do is set that Canvas account up for yourself as an observer. And in order to do that, we're going to first need your student's account. And so I'm going to have my student log in as themselves through the Canvas platform. And our Canvas account can be found as a link on our district website at troy.k12.mo.us. And once my student logs in, I'm going to come up here to the very top where it says account. What we're looking for is a pairing code that will pair me as their parent to the student so that I see everything that they see. So I'm going to click here where it says account, and I can see my student's name up at the top. And then down here, I'm going to click where it says settings. Over on the right-hand side within the settings controls are a button that says pair with observer. When I click there, it's going to generate a code that I will need when I go to set up my account. And so this code is good for 7 days or after you use it for the first time. It is also case sensitive, so be sure if you're writing it down to write down capital letters as capital letters. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this so that I can take it over to my Observer account in just a moment. And I'm going to click OK. Right? And so really right now we're done with our student account. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out of my student's account. And it takes me back to that Lincoln County sign-in page. Remember, that's also accessible through our district website. And I know that I'm on the Lincoln County one because it says Lincoln County up here at the top left. Over on the right-hand side, it says parent of a Canvas user. Click here. When I click there, it's going to ask me for some basic information to set up my account. So I'm going to enter my name, I'm going to enter my email, and then you get to set what your password is. It does have to be at least 8 characters. And then now is where it's asking for your parent code. And so I'm going to paste in my code. Remember, it is case sensitive. And then I have to check the box that I agree. And then I'm going to select Start Participating. Once I'm logged in, I see the dashboard that my student sees. And so the dashboard is just the Canvas name for where I can see all the courses, my Canvas navigation, and some other tools that I'm going to have Mr. Gilmore here share with you in just a few minutes. Right now, you may be thinking, like, I have more than one student within the Lincoln County School District. And so you can add more than one child to your Observer account. And you're going to do that by coming up here to this little tab here that says your first child's name. And you're going to click the drop down arrow. And underneath there, it says Add Student. And when I click Add Student, it's going to ask for another pairing code. Now I do have to go to my second student's account and get their pairing code and type that in to pair with them. So each student has a very unique pairing code that is generated for you to enter. Remember, it is case sensitive. Once I enter that pairing code, it will add any additional children that I have. You can have as many paired with your account as you need. And then all of them will show under this list here. So if I had 5 students in the district, then I would be able to pair all 5 of them and they would show on this drop-down list. So whatever student's name is showing in this window here is going to be the student's classes that you see here. If you already have a Parent Observer account and you just don't remember how to log in or you've forgotten your password, you can reach out to your student's teacher or your student's building Office, and they can help you get that reset so that you can get logged in and get access to your students' information. And I'm going to have Mr. Gilmore share about what does all these tools on this front page do and how can they help you support your learner.
Now that Jennifer showed you how to create an Observer account, we're going to look at the different navigation features that Canvas has to offer. First, let's make sure everybody is on the same page that I am in, which is called my dashboard. Over here to the left, you can select Dashboard so that you can see the screen that I am on. Next, what we're going to do is look at the two views that your dashboard has to offer. To get to those views, in the top right-hand corner, you should see 3 dots. Go ahead and select that. What you should notice are 2 different views that you have the options to select. One, which we're currently in, which is called Card View, and the second, which we'll talk about first, is called List View. At this time, let's scroll down to List View and go ahead and select that. Once your page is loaded, you should notice a couple things. Over here to the left, you should notice due dates for each particular assignment. Underneath those due dates, you might see your particular class that your student is enrolled in and the assignments that the student will be taking. Underneath this, you should see hyperlinks to each of those assignments that your son or daughter might have, and you can select on those so you can see the particular items that they're doing for each assignment. The majority of our students love this view so that they can see what they're going to be doing in class, but we will caution you, however, if a teacher does not select a particular due date for an assignment, it will not show up in this view. So that is, we highly suggest just keeping it in Card View, as we'll look at here in just a minute. So, to get back to Card View, let's come over here to the top right-hand corner and click on those 3 dots. Once again, we want to go back to Card View, so we'll scroll down here and we'll select Card View at this time. It'll take you back to the dashboard, what we have, which is defaulted for you. This is called Card View. In Card View, you will see all the classes that your son or daughter is enrolled in. In this, you might see pictures of particular assignments that your teacher has defaulted, and you'll see names of the courses and the teacher for that course. In just a minute, we're going to break down what's underneath each of these cards in just a second, but we first want to give you the different views that you might see on your dashboard. Now that we've had a chance to look at the 2 different views that your dashboard can be in, let's take a deeper look at Card View and what is underneath each individual course. To do so, up here in the top left-hand corner, go ahead and select that course. As your page loads, you should notice that it takes you to your home screen. Your home screen might look slightly different than mine, all depending on where your son or daughter goes to school. What we're going to do is we're going to look at 3 individual tabs over here to your left, which are your home, your modules, and your announcements. You might have more options over there, just depends on what your teacher makes viewable. So our current view that we're on is called our home page. Next is called our module page. We're going to go ahead and select that now. This is probably the most important hyperlink that you have on Canvas, which is going to take you to the list all of the published assignments that are given to your son or daughter. Underneath each of these, you'll see different things such as this is in Unit 4, what they're doing on Week 1. Here's a particular assignment that is due on 1-3. So you can see each individual assignment that is given to them. If I select this, it'll take me to a screen where I can view more details about this assignment. To simply get back, all I have to do is come up here to my top and go ahead and select my Unit 4, and it'll take me back, or I can simply just hit the back button as well in my browser. As I mentioned before, I can scroll down here, and this particular teacher leaves everything that has been assigned shown. Some teachers might take in unpublished things, but it all depends on what your teacher wants your students to see. To get back to the home page, we're going to simply click on Home. The next view that we're going to look at is called our Announcements view. Go ahead and select on Announcements on the left-hand side. What you'll notice here in this view is typically announcements published by your teachers. A lot of our teachers will make an announcements during our AMI days on what particular assignments that they're going to be doing that day. So here you see different AMI announcements on the different AMI days that we had. To get back to your home, simply click on Home page over here to the left. Last thing I want to show you in the individual assignments are 6 different hyperlinks that are down here for you to look at. We will not look at each of those today, but just want to draw those to your attention in case you wanted to take a deeper look at each of those. Now, if you want to get back to our home page that we had with our dashboard, Over here, we'll select Dashboard to the left, and it'll take us back to our card view. As we continue on with our navigational tools, I want to show you two other items that might draw your interest. The first one, over here to the right when I'm on my dashboard, is what we call a to-do list. In the to-do list are once again lists of assignments that are given to your son or daughter. Each of these to-do lists has an assignment that is hyperlinked. We caution you once again that as long as your son or daughter has put a due date, they'll show up in this to-do list. If there's no to-do date on the assignments, then it'll not show up on that list. The other thing I want to show you is the Show All button at the very bottom of your to-do list. If I click on that, it'll take me back to that view, what we call list view, that we displayed earlier. So if I scroll up, I can see previous assignments on their due dates, and if I scroll down, I can see future due dates. To get out of this view and back to your normal dashboard with the card view is I'm going to go ahead and click on the three dots at the top right, and I'm going to click on card view. This will take me back to my normal dashboard in card view. The last thing we want to show you in this view of navigation tools is what we call our calendar over here to the left. Go ahead and select that now. In your calendar, this is one of my personal favorite views. As you see here, it lists all the different assignments that your son or daughter has set due dates for them from their teachers. What I like over here to the right is you can notice all the different courses that they are enrolled in. If I select on each of these due dates, I can turn them on or turn them off. So if there's a particular class that I want to focus on, I could turn just that course on, or if I want to make sure that I focus on all of them, I can turn them all on. As mentioned with our to-do list and as mentioned with our list view, as long as the teacher has set due dates, they'll show up in these courses for your son or daughter to see and yourself to see. To get out of this calendar view and back to your dashboard, over here to the left, we'll simply click on Dashboard. Up here, you're able to toggle right and left to see future dates or past information and past dates as well up there. You can also take it to week view, month view, or even an agenda view. So that's all depending on what you would like to see. As mentioned, if we want to go back to our dashboard, we simply click on Dashboard on the top, on the left-hand side. It'll take me back to my card view as shown before.
All right, now that you know a little bit more about the navigation and some of the tools that are available within the dashboard for you, let's talk about your next question that you probably have is like, how do I see my students' grades? How do I know how they're doing in class? And so one way that you can do that is to scroll all the way to the bottom of the to-do list, and View Grades is down there at the bottom. I can click on that and see all of my students' grades for all classes in one spot. All right, so notice that some classes say no grade. That likely just means that they're not submitting anything for that class into Canvas. Remember that Infinite Campus, and you should have a parent portal login for Infinite Campus. That's where we do all of our official grades. So while you may see grades in Canvas, they're not the official grade. What's showing in Infinite Campus is what is being reported as the official grade. Sometimes teachers assign things that are graded but aren't in Canvas. Sometimes it's an in-class activity. Sometimes they only put assignments within Infinite Campus. So always check there for your official grade. Think of Canvas as more a grade check on assignments that are submitted online. And I can check the status of those within this account. So if I wanted to look at a specific class's grade, I could click on the title of that class, and it's going to take me to the grades section of that class. Okay, that is also accessible from the dashboard. So if I come in and I click on the title of the course, it's going to take me to the home page of the course. If I scroll down to the bottom, grades is at the very bottom of that as well. And it's going to take me to the same place. Okay. And so then what are we looking at once we're here within that grades tab? Okay. So first I'm going to see the title of the assignment that is to be completed. So if I click on that assignment, notice it's a link, it takes me to the direction. So this is what my student actually had to do. And then down below what my student submitted as their turn-in. Okay. I can see when my student submitted it. I can see how many times they have tried to submit it. Also here shows me how many times they're allowed to submit it. So if my teacher allows more than one attempt, if I did poorly, I might be able to help my student redo that assignment for a better grade. Over here on the right, it shows the score. And if a teacher has left specific feedback in a comment, if I click the View Feedback button, it will show those comments here for me on the right. For some assignments, you might notice a little percentage bubble here. That is not a grade. It's actually a score from a tool that we call Turnitin. And Turnitin is really a plagiarism checker that checks a student's work against other students' work, and also the World Wide Web, so that they can tell if documents have been plagiarized. Notice that this is over 50%, but if I look at the assignment, there's a lot that's filled in for them as directions that could be considered plagiarism by that tool. So if a teacher has a concern about that, they will reach out to you. So keep that in mind. Or if you have a question about that, you can definitely reach out to them as well. And so I see the assignment looks good to me. I'm going to click my back arrow, and it is going to take me back to her overall grades. So within that same row, I can see the date that the assignment was due, the date that it was submitted. Since it was submitted afterwards, it is flagged as late. I know that this teacher doesn't count off for late assignments, and so maybe it was that their work time was extended. Maybe it was that they needed extra class time to finish that. So that part doesn't concern me so much for this class because they're not being counted off for late assignments in this specific class. That can vary by teacher. So if you have a question about their late policy, see their syllabus or reach out to the teacher themselves. I can see the score here. And then if I click this little check mark box, it shows me how my student did in comparison with other students in the class. So I can kind of track their progress of, are they where they're supposed to be? Did everybody perform about the same? That kind of comparison there. It kind of just helps me keep track of where my learner is. And then over here on the right, again, that's just that originality report from Turnitin that we looked at on the other side. So if I click on that, it's going to open the same tab for me and talk to me about Turnitin and how that works. Okay. On further down, there are some additional icons that may be helpful to you. So if I see this little icon, that means that a teacher has graded this assignment with a rubric. So if I click that, it's going to open up that rubric, and I can see the specific criteria that this teacher has graded my students' assignments on, so I know kind of exactly what that teacher was looking for and what they saw in my students' work, which is really great feedback. If I click that again, it closes that up. An additional button that you might see is this little speech bubble here. That's really just feedback from the teacher. So the teacher has typed in a very specific comment to the student, and I can see that as the parent. I can't comment back in this instance, but I can see the feedback that the teacher is giving my students, so I know how to support them with work at home. And I can close that just by clicking the X. All right, I'm going to go back to my dashboard for a minute. So if I'm done looking at a class, I can go back to my dashboard and I can click on another class. So I'm going to go into science. So same thing, I want to look at grades. Notice that grades for this class is here on the left. It's also still accessible down here at the bottom. And there's a few additional icons, one being missing. So note that that just means that a submission has not been made yet for this assignment, but I'm also noticing that it's for March 12th. So I'm not super concerned about that one. I'm going to scroll on past. Okay, we again see that rubric grading assignment there. I could click on that for feedback. If I come all the way down here to the bottom, I see these two new icons. So this little icon here, when it's with the grade, means that something has been submitted. It just hasn't been graded yet. So that submission is waiting there for teacher grading. Same thing with the little rocket ship. So the rocket ship means that it's a Canvas quiz or like a self-graded assignment within Canvas that just hasn't been formally checked by the teacher yet. So that little rocket will show there out of how many points are possible. And once the teacher has checked that grading, that assignment grade will show up there. So those two icons just mean that there are submissions, they just haven't been graded. And then of course the dash means that nothing was submitted, but also notice that it doesn't say missing. There's also not a submission date. So maybe they decided that they weren't going to do this class or they were going to do this assignment in class instead of through Canvas. So always take these icons and just think about what they might mean for your student. Also, if you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher about them. So there are some, like I said, some things that are required to do in class and some things that are required on Canvas. So that's just teacher preference, and everything can be checked with them. Notice that some things have no submissions, no grade, or anything like that. That just means that maybe they opted to do that assignment in class instead of on Canvas. And so I'm going to kind of skip past that. I'm really looking for those missing assignments or assignments that have a low score here that I want to check in with my student on. Right, I can also change my course right here. I don't have to go to my dashboard every time. If I click there, I can now say I want to look at social studies and click the apply button. And it's going to take me over to the social studies class. So I can see the assignments again. Everything looks the same. Those icons are the same. I can tell what scores were scored. I can see feedback from the teacher if any is left. And I can see things that have not been submitted yet, or things that are missing. So again, I would reiterate that Infinite Campus is our official grading system. Canvas is really more of just like a daily classwork check for those assignments. So be sure to always double check with Infinite Campus. And whenever there's a question, always, always, always reach out to your child's teacher. And Mr. Gilmore is going to show you how to do that right from within the Canvas platform.
Now that we've had the opportunity to look at how to navigate to see your students' grades, the final thing might be questions that arise about Canvas. First, we suggest that you reach out to your students' particulars teachers. You can do that through Canvas. In order to do that, over here on the left, you'll notice a button called Inbox. We'll select that at this time. This will send an email to the teacher to tell them the various questions that you might have. In order to compose an email, we'll take you through the steps. In the top right-hand corner is a pencil with a box that says Compose a New Message Now. We'll select that first. Next, what you'll do is you're going to click on the course menu box, which will have a drop down of all the different courses that your son or daughter might be in. First, select the class that you're particularly wanting to email. Next, we'll go down to the To line. In the To line, you'll notice that Teachers arise. We'll select the teacher, and then we'll select the particular teacher that you're hoping to email. Finally, all you have to do is fill out the subject line, and then in your body, type your questions at this point. Once you press send, this will not only send them an email in Canvas, but it'll also send a notification email to their Gmail account as well. This will allow you to reach out to your son or daughter's teachers so that they can answer your question that you might have about Canvas.
R3 families, thank you for joining us this evening. Hopefully you took away a piece of Canvas that will make navigating the system a little bit easier moving forward. Now remember, this video will stay on the district's YouTube page, so please feel free to come back and access it at any time.